Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Yes, while Geico could help you rack up more moolah faster than you can say metamorphosis, they've also been the fastest growing auto insurer for more than 10 years. That's more like it. Furthermore, Geico has fast and friendly claim service. That might seem like an oxymoron, but it's not. All the more reason to say no other auto insurer has more than Geico. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
If you don't sit in your lucky seat, your team could lose. So don't leave your lucky seat. But do pick up your phone or computer and order B-dubs to go. Or if you've got a big group, call in for the party menu. That way you can order wings, pick them up, and get back to your lucky seat. And if you do lose while sitting in your lucky seat, you can still feel lucky eating your feelings. Spicy feelings. Keep your superstitions. We do it for you. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Prices and participation vary. See participating locations for details. Void where prohibited.
Zero writes, wait, so if you can't flush baby wipes in your toilet, how do you guys dispose of them? Do you just let your wipes with feces residue lay there in a bag like a lonely cat lady?
Oh, I flush
Oh
them.
my God. Oh my God.
Tell me the Knicks lose.
On a last second shot.
Are you serious?
Holy
Wrong show.
This is the lowest moment. The Knicks had the ball. They were up by one, dribbling around, missed a bunch of shots. Porzingis missed a shot from the corner. They had the shot of the ball. The shot clock was going to run out. They didn't have to even shoot the ball. They basically had to keep the ball away from Philly for 12 seconds. They couldn't do that. Philly got the ball back after Porzingis missed the shot, and they dribbled up and hit a last-second shot, and they just beat the Knicks. Oh, my God. And Philly's celebrating like they just won the title.
So they could have just got the ball over half court and literally just sat on the ball.
Rose is dribbling. Yeah, all he has to do is just sit on the ball. He passes. Porzingis didn't even need the I guess there would have been 3 seconds left in the shot clock. I think 3 seconds left on the difference between the shot clock and the game clock was like 3 seconds.
Well, that's an eternity for the Knicks to blow a game.
But yeah, that's true. But like, they were up by 8 like a minute and a half ago. Melo just looks angry when he sees the last second shot go in. I mean, there was nothing wrong. There's no reason Porzingis needed to shoot a 3 either. But holy crap! Melo also played no defense. I mean, like the guy he was guarding the guy that had the shot to win the game, and by guarding him, Melo like stood 5 feet from him while he hit the game winner.
This team is such trash.
Holy shit.
Fun Knicks podcast, next episode.
Well, the good thing is just like, let's start tanking and let's end this shit. Like, just like trade
This
every
last
like.
segment brought to you by the New York Knicks Podcast.
Did you know we have a more popular Knick-focused podcast?
Tune in to see what Mark is talking about.
Okay, go on with the questions.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts, just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Everybody, welcome to episode 365 of the New York Knicks Podcast, part of the Almighty Ballin' Podcast Network, who is now up to 18 shows in the network. So
Yes, that is still less than the number of teams in the NBA, but we're catching up.
It's also catching up to the number of times Melo's been ejected this season.
Yes, we have 18 shows in the network. That means 12 to go, but kind of 11 because it's hard to count the New York Knicks as an NBA team.
I should say 18 team-specific shows because there's a lot of general NBA shows too, like Chris, who owns the network. So,
Yes, Jay, there's a guest that actually wants to talk to you before I even jump in here.
Before we do that, I just want to mention the website, almightyballer.com. That's the network that we're on, and our website is the New York Knicks Podcast.com. Now for our special guest.
I was just going to say also, you can join us on our new website, I'm still a Knicks fan, I'm going to kill myself.com. It's It's a website where you probably can figure out what it's about. Just go on there. Anyway, our guest, Jay, you want to just answer the call or?
Ring, ring. Hello.
Hey, Jay. It is Joey Knicknuts here, the most optimistic Knick fan in the world, and I'm going to say, I know what you're going to say, Jay. I know what you're going to say, Jay. You're going to say we need to rebuild and like blah blah blah. I'm here to convince you. I am here to convince you that we're going in the right direction. This is a good season, and you are a bad Knick fan / bad person.
Well, Joey Knicknuts, I would love to hear your positive take on this season.
Do you know when Phil got here, they won 17 games? It was a disaster. Then they won
after Phil got here.
When Phil got here, they won 17 games, and then they won 32. And this year, we may win 33 games. We're incrementally getting better, and that's what good teams do. They incrementally get better. We're on our way to a title by the time Phil leaves here.
In 2087?
As long as it takes. Phil is committed to the New York Knicks. He's just as committed as he is to Jeannie Buss. He's just that committed to the Knicks.
Bad timing on that one. Joey, you haven't been reading the tabloids.
I try not to because I'm a Knicks fan and I don't want to read anything about the Knicks. But anyway, we're heading. We have
Joey,
you
sounded
team.
like Mark there for a second.
For a second.
Weird.
We have a super team here, and I don't understand why you want to. Derrick Rose, we give him the 5-year, $150 million contract, and it's is it 150 or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. We give him $800 million a year. Why not? He is getting better and better. He is almost the MVP. Have you seen him drive to the basket? He's amazing at driving to the basket. He's so good, doesn't even need to pass when he drives to the basket.
He is good at driving to the basket. I can't argue with that.
Melo is still Melo, and he is. You watch him on offense and close drives on defense. It works out.
I got to try that strategy. That's a good strategy.
That's what he does. And you know what? Like the team is getting. As I understand it, the team is really understanding that they have to refocus. Sometimes you have to refocus. Everyone has to refocus. The Cleveland Cavaliers lost 2 games like in a row recently, and they had to refocus. And the Knicks are kind of just like the Cavaliers.
Since Melo doesn't move on defense, I'm wondering if I could just put a piece of black electrical tape on my TV just so I could cover where he's standing on defense.
Well, you probably could do that. Noah is looking. He's getting like a bunch of rebounds. He's looking like the Noah from old. He's looking like old Noah, very old Noah.
He definitely looks old. Yes.
Yes, he's looking like very old Noah. Kyle O'Quinn is having an MVP type season. This team is just like, and Porzingis, I understand he's had some issues with his Achilles, but once his Achilles better, he's going to return to his form. The team is heading in the right direction. I don't understand why you blow it up now. We can both rebuild and win it all in the same season.
Our offline stats guy, Strive, sent us a Kylo Quinn stat. Would you like to hear it?
Yes. I would love to hear about Kylo Quinn.
You can never get enough Kylo Quinn stats.
You can never get enough cock from you.
This is advanced stats for Kylo Quinn. Guess what he is on the team in PER?
I am, as Joey Knicknuts, I don't believe in advanced stats. You could talk. I'm just going to hum to myself.
Okay. He is first in PER.
Oh, that's good in a made-up stat.
First in BPM.
No one has any idea what that means.
First in defensive BPM or DPM.
Oh, BPM defensive. No one knows what that means, Jack.
I don't even know what that means. Win shares per 48. He is first.
Oh, try calculating that. I'm sure you could figure that out.
And win shares in general, he is third.
What's a win share, Jack? You have no idea.
That is
Stop confusing us with these advanced stats. The Knicks aren't about advanced stats. We're about scoring. It doesn't matter how you do it or what percentage you shoot. As long as you score, that's how you do it.
I just figured you'd like hearing stats about Knicks.
Yeah, the Knicks. All I heard from you was Kyle O'Quinn is good at advanced stuff, and he's a very advanced person. So I totally get that.
Do you have anything else to say, Joey Knicknuts?
I don't know if I'm winning the battle here. I guess our listeners could determine that. But all I know is you're saying a lot of stuff about rebuilding, but my arguments will win the day because the Knicks won't rebuild. So I'll see you later.
Got me again. Joey Knicknuts always wins the arguments.
Solid arguments, I have to say.
Yeah. He's a professional debater.
Yes. So, should we talk about the game? So that Melo has said through, I don't know, leak sources that he would go to the Clippers or the Cavaliers, or
So apparently there's a rumor that Phil might be leaking information that he doesn't want Carmelo on the team anymore.
I wish Phil had thought about that before he signed him in the first place. Where'd you hear that? Is that Charlie Rosen? Rosen, I may have heard from a source I cannot name, but I'll call him Jill Paxson. He swears that Phil may want Melo to leave.
No, it was actually in a newspaper article.
Okay. It'd be funny if it was just they're interviewing Phil, but it's a blue dot that's only half covering his face.
They think that it might be leaked through Charlie Rosen. It's kind of like he said, she said thing at this moment, but
it's actually being leaked through the fans at the games who are booing him.
Right. So here's the thing. It was also leaked, we don't know if any of these leaks are true or not, that Melo would accept a trade to the Cavs and the Clippers.
I love how this team functions on leaks. It's like they're pissing on me with everything they do.
I know. So what I did is I went to the trade machine.
You're the man. I was hoping you did that. I didn't actually think of doing that, but it's a great idea. Because I feel like the Cavaliers probably are not in on getting Carmelo because they'll feel like they're strong enough without him, and he'll mess up chemistry. I don't even know if he'll mess up. I don't think they'll want to trade for him. I think the Clippers, who at some point you have to say, we got to go all in while we have Chris Paul here. Chris Paul may leave. We need to keep him here. I feel like the Clippers would honestly make an effort to trade for Melo.
I think you could fool the stats of the Cavs into thinking super stacked team. I mean, James Love, Irving, and Melo in the starting lineup. That's pretty nasty.
Do we have to take J.R. Smith back?
No, I made the trade without taking J.R. Smith back.
Okay, tell me And so I feel like for both teams, you have to get 2 number ones. Doesn't matter when they actually happen. It has to happen within the next few years. But we get 2 number ones. They're crappy number 1 picks, but we get 2 number ones.
I'm thinking we get 1 number 1.
The other thing is I would love that you could just get the Celtics involved so we can get some of the 8 draft picks, 8 number 1s they got from the Nets.
Right. Okay, so I'm just doing players because you can't really do draft picks through this.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 scenarios that I think are realistic and are doable.
By the way, if you can't tell, it's been a bad week in Nick fandom as we're starting the episode off by how can we get rid of Melo the fastest?
Right.
And it's not even I don't know what's worse. Melo's driving me crazy. Derrick Rose disappeared for a game with still not a good story, but played well thereafter. So I don't even know what to say.
We briefly mentioned that last episode, but we didn't have all the details.
All we knew by the end of the episode was that the Knicks didn't know why Derrick Rose was not at the game.
Well, actually, it's a week later. We still don't really know. He said he said family stuff. He didn't say what. The rumors are he was just upset and wanted to talk to his mom. Nobody really knows. The
rumors are insane. They're like there's some rumors that he was thinking about quitting basketball, which is insane. Other rumors that he was upset because he didn't have a contract, and that Hornets had sat in the last 2 games in the fourth quarter, and right after that they leaked that he wants $130 million over 5 years. Is it 130 or 100?
150.
Or 150?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it might
doesn't matter at that point.
It might as well be the most ridiculous number possible to sign him to.
Yeah.
Which everything's and that number makes you say, how fast can we trade Derrick Rose? Because you have to be goddamn insane. And I also want to say, if you could just choose one of the 2 guys, Rose or Melo, to keep here for the next 2 years. Let's say you can keep it for a 2-year deal. Let's not extend it beyond that.
Yeah.
Who do you keep?
Melo.
I don't think it's so. I don't think it's so definitely Melo, because I think you can make an argument for Rose.
You can make an argument for Rose, but how many times has Melo just not shown up to a game?
I mean, that's a solid argument against. I just feel I don't know. I mean, how much Rose seems like he can score. They both can't play defense.
Melo's still better.
Melo's better. I don't want to get people killing me for saying that Rose is better than Melo, but
Melo is.
I don't know. Melo.
PR.
It's just Melo's been here the last it's been awful with Melo the last couple of years.
Melo.
Not even him. I'm just saying the results. Forget what he's done. The team has just been so bad with Melo, and there's been 100 different players on the team with him. It's not his fault, but it's just not working out.
Melo's second on the team in PER.
Who's first? Oh, Kyle Quinn, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
God.
Derrick Rose is fourth.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's better. Okay, what are the trades?
So there's two options with the Cavs.
And either way, I mean, the general argument I heard someone make was that both Melo and Rose just aren't the personalities you want in this team to build around. You can't build a team with these guys who are going to kill the locker room. They're both not really coachable at this point. You're better off just getting rid of them and rebuilding after they get rid of them, whatever you can get, and then rebuild from there. Because it doesn't help having these guys around for a guy like Porzingis anymore. You have a toxic locker room right now.
Right.
Okay, so tell me what you got.
Okay, so we have Tristan Thompson, good defender.
Yeah, but so we have 8 centers.
Yeah, but you collect assets. That's what you do. It's working for
Yeah.
Philly so far.
You know what I'm also ready to say? I'm ready to trust the process. Where's Steven, our resident Raptor / Sixer lover? I'm ready to trust the process. We can just switch to the 76er system. It's better at this point. I trade everyone not named Porzingis. You can keep a couple of the young guys. Hernan Gomez. You can keep Baker if you want. Trade everyone else for draft picks. Whatever you can get for them. And just start tank and just rebuild from there.
So we have Tristan Thompson, and then we have a choice of 2 ex-Knicks. Either Shumpert or Fry. Not the worst of situations there.
I kind of like getting Fry can shoot the 3.
Yeah. I would rather
Shumpert
Fry.
can't. Shumpert can't. How's Fry on defense?
Yeah.
You see, I want to build around defense. The team is just. I want a team that's really just built defense first. I heard they were saying on the radio, and I thought it was a good point. You really have to. One of the issues here is Hornacek doesn't really get through to the players. Not everyone listens to him. Melo's uncoachable. You need a team that is all in, and they're all they were trying the triangle. Guys didn't want to play it, so they kind of switched it up. Whatever system Hornacek wants to run, the guys have to be 100% in on it. And if they're not in on it, they have to sit. You have to build a team around the fact that Hornacek is your god here.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not buying into what the coach is doing, it doesn't work.
So we're exactly halfway through the season, and we're only 4.5 games ahead of Trust the Process.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to hear the Cavs trade?
Okay. Oh, isn't that the trade? Is there any more?
I mean, sorry, the Clippers trade.
So I don't love that Cavs trade. We better get some good draft picks.
It's not great, but I mean, they're not going to trade Love, Irving, or LeBron.
No, and I won't expect to go get those guys back. And I wish they had a young guy to if anyone young that you would go I want him. He's a decent asset to get.
No, they don't have a lot of young guys. So, I mean, I'm trying to be realistic here.
Okay.
That was as realistic as it gets with the Cavs.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, that's realistic. Okay, go. Okay, what about
Clippers?
Yes.
Clippers, Melo and Kyle O'Quinn for Griffin, Wes Johnson, and Allen Anderson.
I mean, I like that trade a lot better. I know everyone's going to be everyone kills Blake Griffin, and I know he doesn't stay healthy, but this Melo. What's it? Do you think there's a chance they do it?
I think probably not this year, but if next year they think Blake doesn't re-sign, then they do it.
Well, that's also you're assuming that they're going to get Chris Paul back.
Right, Blake and Chris Paul expire at the same time.
Oh, wait, is Chris Paul expiring this summer or next summer?
No, next summer is Blake and Chris Paul.
This offseason.
No, they have this year and next year on their contract. I'm not sure if they have an opt-out. I think they might both have an opt-out 1 year earlier.
Oh, because why is everyone talking about Chris Paul signing with the Knicks for next season?
I think he has an opt-out option.
Oh, then he's opting out. He's clearly I mean, not even if he's leaving the Clippers, he's going to opt out so he can take all his money.
Right. Both of these guys are going to opt out if If they have an option opt out, they're going to, so they can get a raise.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, you might as well take your last big deal with this like huge increase in the salary cap. So they're both going to opt out, and you think the Clippers, if they want to re-sign Chris Paul, outside the fact they can give him more money, you may want to get like Melo here to like show your commitment to Chris Paul, and also, what's the point of not getting him? Are you winning the title this year? If you don't get Melo there, you're probably not.
Right.
You want to be able to beat Golden State, you got to get better.
Spurs too.
Yeah, it's an arms race here. So Clippers have great defense. They can probably handle the fact that Melo does not play defense. They need scoring.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a better point guard for him to listen to.
Yeah, and they're already friends. So
yeah, I feel like of all things, the Clippers should be all in on trying to get Melo.
Anyway, that's what I came up with.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, I like the Clipper trade much better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as long as we can get a first round pick also in that. But whatever.
If we're getting Blake, we're not getting a first round.
Yeah, we're not getting a first round pick. Yeah. So the rumor was that Melo.
With the Cavs, we could probably get a first round pick. With the Clippers, we're not getting a first round pick.
Yes. So since last show, the Knicks they lost. They were playing the Pelicans during the last show. They lost to the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the 76ers on a buzzer beater. Because, of course, that's how we lose the 76ers. They beat the Bulls, so everything was okay again. And then they got their asses just kicked today by the Raptors, who look like – forget the Cavaliers looking like on another level. The Raptors look like they were on another level than the Knicks today.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk to the basketball gods?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay. Oh, basketball. You're going to do it? Is there music
yeah.
going to play? It's like you're not prepared for this bit at all, Jay.
It's almost like you just threw that at me, and I have to prepare. Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
Oh, basketball gods. Oh, basketball gods. Oh, basketball gods. Basketball gods.
Hello, Marc and Jay, and the rest of you New York Knicks podcasters. You have awoken me. It is I, the basketball god.
All right, basketball god. This is dire times, and we need to have a serious talk with you.
Basketball god. Do we have to? Here's my question for you. Do we have to get rid of Phil? Is Phil now the issue? Is he like a magic 8-ball? Does he just reply?
No, I think he absorbs all our questions, and then he'll decide later if he's going to,
Okay. So my big questions to you, basketball gods, are: does Phil need to go? And if so, get rid of him. Does Melo? Can you get rid of everyone from this team not named Porzingis?
I am not making a roster suggestion, basketball god. I just want to petition to you to make sure that Porzingis' Achilles are 100% okay.
Oh, my God.
Because this is my number one concern, basketball god. Roster aside, we need healthy Achilles.
What's the Achilles heel of our future?
So
this is like it's almost like the basketball guys just hate us. That is the fact is, like, we lose the last second shot to the 76ers. We never get calls. Our team, no matter who we put on the team, they can't share. They're over the. But we always said we have Porzingis, and of all injuries to give Porzingis, the goddamn Achilles heel is almost like they're freaking mocking us.
So he's missed what, 5 out of the last 6 games now? Yeah,
and you know what? Like, sit him for 2 weeks.
I mean,
where are we going?
I'm not even. That I mean, that's fine. It's they've already sat him for a week. It's just I'm getting really, really worried about this now.
How could you not be insanely? Because if we don't have Porzingis, we have nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you could say like, oh, Hernan Gomez is nice and Baker's nice. These are backup role players at best. We like them; they're decent players, but as far as like important players to build around, it's Porzingis and that's it.
We're hoping Porzingis is our new Patrick Ewing, and we're not hoping because we're legitimately had reasons to believe he could be our new Patrick Ewing. Oh my God! If this becomes a major issue, you might as well just end the franchise.
And also, people who are arguing with us that we shouldn't tank, we tanked once and ended up with Porzingis, just once. And if you think about it, we actually tried to be good that year, and just stunk and rolled with it. So that was like an accidental tank. We didn't even purposely try to tank.
that season started off with Phil talking about the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my argument for tanking. Like, you end up with good players.
Here's the thing. You could also suck. Look at the Lakers. They got Randall. They got what's his name? Who's the point guard who sucks also?
The guy who was recording Nick Young's
Yes.
yeah.
Why am I blanking on his name?
I am too. They got Jordan Clarkson.
But Clarkson wasn't the guy they tanked for. Like, they tanked for Randall. They tanked for the new guy they got. But people are going to love our show. Like, the people that already hate us do not remember anyone's. And I can't, for the love of me. I was just looking through how bad the Lakers are. And I'm like, they have all these guys who are like high draft picks, and they still suck.
D'Angelo Russell.
I mean, and maybe he'll get better. Here's the thing. Everyone always cites these things. They're like, well, like, tanking doesn't work because 76ers aren't very good right now, and the Timberwolves aren't very good right now. The Lakers aren't very good right now. And you know what? At some point, the Golden State Warriors weren't very good. At some point, the Cleveland Cavaliers weren't very good. The Raptors weren't very good. A lot of teams aren't very good, and like, either you bring back LeBron like the Cavaliers did, or you develop over time. And
the Thunder were one of the worst teams in the league with Durant and Westbrook, and they made the finals like 2 years later.
Yeah. Like, the thing is with it is there's no easy answer in the NBA. The only easy answer is the system that we're doing is not working. Everything else, like, for the most part, most teams that have won the title in the NBA have developed the team through the draft and getting young players before they really like break to the next level and getting lucky. Like, the Lakers traded Vlade Divac to get Kobe Bryant.
Right.
I mean, I know Kobe was just drafted. Like, they got him in the draft. What are the chances? Even you thought like that was a good trade for the Lakers at the time. You didn't think, hey, they might have gotten like a top 10, 15 all-time greatest player for Vlade Divac.
Right. Everything's a crapshoot.
There's a lot of luck, and Phil has. In some ways, he's like, it's a crapshoot anyway. I need to like take gambles to get this team to the next level. And Derrick Rose, like, you could argue, on the one hand, you could say it was absurd to trade away Robin Lopez on a pretty decent contract and like your solid defensive center and a young point guard, which you're supposed to develop players, trade them away for Rose at this point in his career. But you could also say, hey, Rose was a huge gamble. You took all our chips and not even put the chips on red. You put the chips in the middle on like some random number on the roulette table and just said, hey, if this hits, we could win the goddamn title. We can really contend. And if it loses, well, he can walk in a year. Mm-hmm. He's been pretty decent, but obviously he's not chips in the middle, nail that number on the roulette wheel, like that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, he's been better than I think a lot of people thought.
His numbers are good, but like, where are we going?
Yeah, I think that's the main point. Like, he's exceeded expectations, but are you really winning with what we have right now?
Not even. You don't even have to ask the question like a hypothetical. The actual answer is based
true.
on facts. We're not. We're 5 games under 500, and it looks like. And we've gone to the point where like you feel like at some point in the season you felt like the Knicks were playing well. You were like the Knicks have a shot at winning every game, and now you're back where I had the same feeling around this time last year, a few weeks later last year, where I thought, hey, will the Knicks win another game this season?
Well, that's only if you base what you're saying off of facts and evidence.
Yeah. So if you go through facts and evidence, it does not look very good for this team. This team, there's some things to build off of, but like, I don't know. Like, are we better off saying, hey, like, we bring back Derrick Rose and he scores 17, guess it's 5 assists for the next 5 years. Is that getting us anywhere? If he doesn't play any defense and is remaxing Melo in a few years, is that going to make any sense? And Noah, I'm glad Noah, it doesn't look as horrible as he looked a couple weeks ago. But everyone's like, well, Noah's playing a lot better now. Yes, except for we're still giving up 70 points every half. Like, we're still giving up an absurd amount of points. So how much of difference is Noah making?
It's not even It's the starting lineup in general. Like, you can't start every game just getting absolutely stomped, and then why is the bench making comebacks every game?
Why? So at this point, Kyle O'Quinn, and not that Kyle O'Quinn's so great, why not just give him Noah's minutes? What's the point of starting Noah over Kyle O'Quinn? Because Noah has given us on defense. He does not. He's getting some rebounds now. He's looking a little bit better. Kyle O'Quinn's a much better offensive player than Noah. And it seems like whether Kyle O'Quinn's out there or Noah's out there, the defense blows.
Bruno asked if we noticed how Grant was the best point guard against the Knicks. He outplayed Michael Carter-Williams and Rondo. So somebody was arguing with me on Twitter about how Grant is a scrub and he can't get playing time over those two, which was funny because then I just told him about the box score where Michael Carter-Williams was like 1 for 9 and Grant was... By the way, watching Grant to Lopez for a score hurt a lot. I was not a happy camper during that sequence.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Grant's not that great yet. Grant plays some defense. He doesn't get a lot of playing time there. He got some playing time against the Knicks because that's just kind of how it has to happen.
Yeah, but I'm not saying Grant is the savior, but Grant he would be our second best point guard next to Rose. Like, he's better than Baker. He's better than Sasha. Like, it's just having young guys, like giving away young guys, like it's just annoying. And then I was also making the point that we would rather have him than Rose because Rose makes 25 times as much. And I'm not saying he's better than Rose. I'm saying I would rather a guy that makes 1/25th as much.
Well, he already plays better defense than Rose.
Yes.
But here's the thing with it. People say, like, Grant wasn't that great here last year, but he wasn't terrible either. He was one of those guys where you get him, and you hope in a few years he'll be pretty good. You develop your players, and that's the only way you can do it. You have to develop players, and like he doesn't work out. A lot of players don't work out, but most players don't get to the NBA and are immediately awesome.
Right.
It usually takes a while.
Yeah, Bruno just wrote, my point is Grant is not $20 million worth than Rose, and we would still have Lopez instead of Noah. And that is my point. He's not $20 million worse than Rose. Like, There's no point in spending an extra $20 million to get like the little bit extra that Rose gives you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, what you should want as a Knicks fan is that we get a guy like Grant, and you're like, let's develop him, see how he goes, and let's get other players like him and just develop them. Yeah, it just.
I mean, if he turns into like a really good backup point guard, then that's one less spot you have to fill.
Here's my favorite all-time example. This guy, not a high draft pick, first year. Tell me if he would be still a Knick after his first year. He played 13 minutes a game. He averaged just under 3 points a game. Shot 32% from the field, 20% from pointers. Got a couple of rebounds, which is like a huge negative on the court.
Yeah, absolutely gone.
Gone. His second year, year 2, he played 21 minutes a game, averaged 6 points a game. He was shooting 40% from the field, so still pretty much garbage. His 3-point shooting got it up to like 33%, but not like, but he was obviously scored 6 points a game, got a couple more rebounds a game. Still kind of like, Knicks fans are like, he's toilet. He is crap, right?
Yeah. If he wasn't gone the first year, he'd be gone that year.
You know who I'm going? It's my favorite example. You know who I'm thinking of yet? Who I'm describing?
Is this Hardaway?
No. Let's see. His third year.
Is this an actual guy on the Knicks?
No, it's not a Knick.
Oh.
Come on. Wait, you thought I was talking about a guy on the Knicks who started off bad and got better?
And got better on a different team. That's what I thought you were doing.
No. This is a guy, third year in the league. He averaged, suddenly he's shooting 44%, a little over 11 points a game. He's, suddenly he can shoot the three, doing pretty good from the 3-point land. He's 33% from 3-point land. He suddenly gets 8 rebounds a game, almost 4 assists, gets a block, gets 1.5 steals a game. It's looking pretty good, right?
Yeah.
The next year.
Is this 14. Russell Westbrook?
No. You're not going to get. I said this example a long time ago on the show, but Draymond Green.
Oh, okay.
He was garbage his first year. His second year wasn't that great. Obviously, he's like one of the better players in the league right now because he was playing in the perfect system, no doubt. And if he played on the Knicks, he'd probably be out of the NBA already. But like, you got to try to develop players.
Yeah.
Most guys just don't come in the league and are that good. Like, it just takes a while. The insanity of the Knicks, like the whole Knick culture of like, you've been here for a year. If you're not good right now, you're garbage.
Right.
Yeah. And Hardaway, how's Hardaway doing right now?
I picked him up in fantasy. He's doing good enough for that. And we only have a 12-team league, so it's, Yeah,
he's shooting 44%. He's got almost 12 points a game. He's getting better and better.
Yeah.
He's getting he still doesn't do much else on the stat column.
No, I got him for threes and points just because I was losing a little bit in those, but still.
But you know what the Atlanta said? They were like, hey, we had Korver. We trade Korver for assets, and basically Hardaway's their new Kyle Korver, basically.
Yeah.
Which seems pretty reasonable. He's not quite the shooter Korver is, but there's a chance he gets better.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do with players.
Yeah. I mean, the Knicks, it's just insane. Like, and who the hell... And everyone will fire back, well, Grant's going to be garbage. And you're like...
Maybe.
I don't know if he'll be very good, but you don't know what he'll be. And he was... And it's just like, we draft players. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean the process of drafting players is a bad idea. It just means it's hard to draft the right players.
Right. And also we're paying a lot more for Sasha, and he's better than Sasha.
Yeah, and it's not like, again, my whole thing here is not Grant's going to be all that great. I have no idea what he's going to be, and not that like, and I'm not even killing Phil for the gamble on Rose, because I understand the idea of like, if Rose got to the level, MVP level again, then it's a hell of a move getting him, and he's 26 or 27 years old. But we just need to develop players. Like, Ron Baker should be playing right now. Ron Baker should be, I said it last show, it sounds insane, but Ron Baker should be starting.
Well, luckily for the Ron Baker, the Knicks are down by 20 every fourth quarter, and he does get to play a lot.
And if when he plays, he always has like this crazy plus minus, which you don't know if it's because Ron Baker's good or just that the other team has given up because they're up by 45, and so like Ron Baker, it's hard to like look bad when you're losing by 45. Like,
right,
not like the other team's not really like out to get you.
Right, exactly.
And I feel like the culture also, like, Phil spent so much time preaching this damn triangle. Even the thing that the triangle makes you better on defense, we spent all this time with the goddamn triangle. And you got to build a team through – the Knicks just got to go back to building a team through defense. And you spent too much time practice going off for this triangle, and the guy's not enough time on defense. I saw somewhere, and some of these things, I don't know where people even find this stuff. It was in comment section about how Hornacek said something along the lines of all the coaches need to sit down with Rambis to find out what he's doing on defense.
How do they not know what he's doing on defense?
I don't know. Like, that just sounded like, first of all, I don't know where people get these inside information, but that just sounded insane to me.
It's like, I don't know what he's doing on defense.
I guess no one knows. It's because they have a system in place right now. They're doing things as a team, but outside of the fact that like guys are being lazy on defense, they're doing things as a team that are insane.
Right.
Just not guarding the 3-point line, not taking that seriously, like not guarding guys closely, I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Okay.
I assume their entire defensive practice consists of, what do we do there, coach? You foul. What do we do there, coach? You foul. You want to go to questions?
Yeah,
do you have stuff you want to rant about?
I think we just did for a half hour.
I hate this team. I hate this team so much. Why? Can we just switch the show? What's the difference?
You want to be the Warriors podcast?
For a week. Just for 1 week. Next week we come back as the Warriors podcast. We pretend we've been Warriors fans all this time, or just pretend we've been Warriors fans for a week. Like, forget just like this. We're reformed Knicks fans. Golden State. If Kevin Durant could go all in, we can go all in with Golden State also. And we just talk about how great the team is and how I wonder if we're going to go to the finals. Ha ha ha. What do we talk about? What do you talk about in the Golden State Warrior podcast? And I think there might be one in the network, but I haven't listened to it. What do we talk about?
You talk about are we going to win the championship or just make it to the conference finals?
Is it failure if we don't? I guess all you talk about is the whole year is is it failure if we don't win the title or win 73 games this year?
Right.
Is 70 like a down year for us?
Right. Exactly.
Do you want to address Derrick Rose for 1 second?
Sure.
Why do you think he was gone? Let's come up with our own conspiracy theory.
I think he had some stuff going on. I think he had like a mini mental breakdown. They keep saying that one guy came to the team recently and said, "This is not what I came here for." I know he got traded, but I still think that counts.
Yeah, I feel like it's Rose because they said also that Rose had a fight with Hornacek after maybe the Indiana game, whatever game one of the games we sat out for the fourth quarter.
Oh, there was something about the Raptors game we didn't even talk about.
What?
Lance Thomas fractured his face. Did you not know that? Did you not know that?
I did know that. I didn't see what happened. Do we put that in good news or bad news not for like him, not for like we want people to have their faces fractured, but is that good news or bad news for the Knicks?
I would say bad. I mean, he can play defense. He hasn't been that good this season, but it just makes the team even thinner.
I feel like the last time the Knicks were good was when Noah and Lance Thomas weren't playing. Like the lineup was shorter. We didn't have to worry about Noah like playing. Kyler Quinn was playing out of his like playing great.
Well, it looks like we'll have more minutes for Kuz now.
Yeah, Kuz is pretty good.
Kuz also thought when the crowd was chanting Kuz that they were booing him. So, Bruno says, if I was a bench warmer for the Knicks, I would refuse to enter the game. It seems that their job lately is to cut down blow-off losses so the starters don't look insanely bad and they don't get reward of getting more minutes in the next games.
That's also the messed up part is like Baker, like he had that great game and then he barely played the next game. He didn't play the fourth quarter of the next game. Played well, and the following game he didn't play at all.
Right. Yeah, like I don't know. Sasha shouldn't be getting minutes. I think Baker earned like any of the backup point guard minutes.
I mean, Jennings right now. I guess on the other hand, are you playing these guys so you can trade them for the deadline? Maybe you're just like, hey Baker, after the trade deadline, there'll be plenty of time for you to play because we won't have another point guard on the team. But like realistically, like Brandon Jennings, maybe we can get a second round pick for him. Get rid of him. Are you going to resign Brandon Jennings?
Oh, Strive also sent us a nice little plus minus stat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. This last Raptors game, Melo was a minus 25, and Baker was a plus 19.
No, so he was 44 points better than Melo. Not that the plus minus is all that, but I know those guys from the Knicks podcast, like, what the hell are they talking about? They just said Ron Baker's better than Melo. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, we're going to get an email like that. Actually, that one was Andrew who sent us that stat.
I mean,
the 4-year-old said, you guys have more dedication to the show than the Knicks on the court. And he wrote, congrats, I'm now a 4-year-old alcoholic.
The team is so it's just like getting laughable how bad they are. And I felt like people wanted to celebrate after they beat a Jimmy Butler-less Bulls team. And you're like, the Bulls are pretty bad also. What are you celebrating?
Did you see Melo's quote when somebody asked him about the Phil wanting him out?
What did he say?
If they feel like my time in New York is over, I guess that's a conversation we should have.
Yes, have that conversation now. Have the conversation instead of, you know what they should do? The next game the Knicks play, when they're down by 35 at halftime should just be that conversation. Like just air it live on MSG at center court. That'd be at least entertaining.
Yeah.
You want to go to questions?
Yeah. I think it's about time for questions. We'll go to emails first. Did you want to get something before we do questions?
I was just gonna say. I mean, like, also, like, a lot of people are big fans of Melo, and they're gonna kill us for like. It's not Melo's fault that this team is. Well, it's partly Melo's fault, but it's not like all his fault to any extent. The team was really bad, and like the Knicks have screwed him over with like 5 different coaches, 3 different team presidents, like 800 different like teammates while he's been here. He has not been set up to win by the Knicks. But he's not the guy you're going to build around at this point. He's not the latter half of his career. He doesn't play defense. It's unfair to even expect him to be able to like push us to the next level. Get him a title. Get him the Clippers or whatever else. Let him compete. Like we'd all be happier that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, in 30 seconds or less, what is the latest with the Knicks Podcast Fantasy League? I'm sure Mark is super keen and is changing his lineups every day."
So I saw Lorenzo's email the other day, and I read that email, and my first thought was, did we do a fantasy team this year? Fantasy league this year? I forgot we did one. You don't even talk about it on the show because I didn't participate, and Jay had had that surgery where it was like Robo Jay, so we couldn't do the show, a live show for it. What's going on with Fantasy League, Jay?
Well, I seem to have a habit of picking up players and then having them immediately start playing like crap.
Could you pick up, not the Knicks for now on?
I mean, Hardaway Jr. had 22 points with 5 threes, 23 points with 3 threes, so I picked him up, and he had 6 points with 0 threes.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's been going. Wes Matthews was terrible for the first, 17 games of the season, so I just dropped him, and he's been putting up crazy numbers ever since.
What place are you in?
I'm in 5th place right now, so not too bad. And I won this week, so I may move up another spot. So I won this week 5-4, and that might move me up to 4th place.
Okay.
So,
well, we didn't mention the Philly game also that people were giving. So the one thing that happened that Melo lost his shit apparently because the last play was not called for him, and instead they ended up with Porzingis ended up an open 3-pointer in the corner, and he didn't even hit the rim. But a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that his Achilles is not very well, so that's probably the fact that why Porzingis' shot was off. But what do you think about Melo losing his mind over the fact that his number wasn't called for the last shot?
Well, it's probably the first time it's happened in 5 years, so maybe he is annoyed.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's just stupid.
Oh.
I mean, a wide open 3 is, it was an air ball and I ended up losing the game, but, 10 times out of 10, you want an open 3 for a game winner.
Yeah, I read somewhere also they made a point that if the ball had just hit the rim, it was a regular rebound.
Yeah,
then there's a decent chance they wouldn't have had the shot. They wouldn't have the time to score anyway. And also, if Melo had played defense on the last shot, the what is it? T.J. McConnell he bumped off of Melo and then got an open shot right by the rim. And maybe he committed a foul on Melo. Who the hell knows? But Melo could also just been in his face. I don't know why Melo couldn't have been in his face to contest that shot.
Well, you can also argue that maybe Porzingis shouldn't have been playing considering his Achilles.
Yeah. I mean, that's reasonable. And maybe Hornacek thought it was better than it was and thought he could hit the shots.
Long story short, the 4 teams ahead of me all won more than I did this week, so I will stay in 5th.
Okay.
Exciting stuff.
We said asked for 30 seconds. You went on for well over 30 seconds.
It was
good job.
At least a minute.
Yeah.
Christopher writes, "Dear Marc and Jay, longtime listener, first-time emailer, as much as I'd love to blame Melo, and I do to some degree, he's never really had a chance to build chemistry with teammates. I went through the roster since the time Melo's arrived, and he played with 78 different teammates in 6+ seasons. With the Knicks, that's a crap load. Can I say crap load? You can when I edit it like that. I guess you'll be saying it since you'll be reading it. Bleep if you must. If I was him, I'd waive the no-trade clause, or at very least stop learning the names of the new guys because they probably won't be around much longer. Thoughts, concerns, vodka? Yes, please.
I mean, the fact that Philly even gave him the no-trade clause when no one, it's not a standard thing given in the NBA. Almost no one gets those is also insane.
But you gotta acknowledge 78 different teammates. That's in 6 years. That's 13 a year. So if you count Melo, that's pretty much a full lineup every single year.
The thing is, they won 54 games, and the Knicks just screwed him after that. You had to say, at that point, they had something that worked, and the Knicks just said, let's just screw it up completely. They got Bargs, which was a horrible trade, ruined the team chemistry, and just totally screwed things up. And they also went away from they kind of saw what was working. The 2-point guard lines were working well for them. Melo at the 4 was working. Shooting lots of threes was working. And they went away from all of that the following year. So in many ways, I feel I don't know if Melo was buying into the stuff that was working, but they had something that worked with Melo when he was playing well, and they kind of just said, I mean, that was the following year Chandler was injured also, right?
Yeah, but I mean that wasn't a sustainable roster anyway. We had four
Kid was
guys,
gone right away. Yeah, it was
four
a lot
guys
of
38 or older. I mean,
but I mean, you could have said like, in fairness to Melo, you could have gone you could have gone more all in with that roster for another year and like seen how to like. But I guess they because the following year they went right back to Melo at the 3. They went right back to like not doing the 2-point guard lineups. They went a lot of things that didn't work. They went right back to just because Amari was healthy. They went back to playing Amari.
Well, yeah, but like Martin, Camby, they were done. Kid was out. Like you lost. Kurt Thomas was gone.
Yeah, no, Camby never really played though, and Kurt Thomas was gone. Camby never really played the year before when they won the 54 games.
Right, but you know what I mean. Like a lot of those guys retired or were just not. They weren't going to be what they were the year before.
You know what they really should have done? It's just made kids the coach. That's what they should have done.
Which is what happens when you build your team around 38-year-olds.
Yeah,
Have a short shelf life.
But yeah, Melo clearly has been kind of screwed over by the Knicks as much as like he has not been set up to succeed.
No, absolutely not. I don't want everyone to think our trade Melo scenarios were because we're putting the blame 100% on Melo. He's had garbage teammates for most of his career.
Here's the thing. Do you think Phil going into that year, the 17-win year, did he think we're going to tear this down and like rebuild, or did he think like we had a legitimate shot? Like he said the playoffs. Do you think he legitimately thought?
I do. That wasn't a tanking lineup we started off with.
Because I feel like if he knew going in that he was going to tank and need to rebuild, then re-signing Melo was like just made no sense. Because you're going to say like, hey, I'm hoping Melo will be good in 3 or 4 years when we're finally ready to compete. But I guess he also really just didn't understand the team he had.
Yeah, no, I think he legit thought they were going to be good.
Do you think if Phil said, I want to leave the Knicks and I want to go to another team in the NBA, does anyone call him to be a team president?
Yeah.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like no one's breaking down his door to get him. Like the coach, yes, but to be team president, he hasn't done very well.
There's been a lot worse that have gotten more jobs.
That's fair. And you could always say he probably learned a lot from being like, now that he has experience, he could be good elsewhere. Like he'll probably take over the Lakers and suddenly the Lakers will be amazing and be like, yeah, I just need those couple years to like get that out of my system.
I mean, who was the guy that destroyed the Knicks, Grunwald?
Yeah.
Well, he's destroying Washington now. He got another chance.
I thought you were going to use the example I always give a different sport, but Bill Belichick, whatever. He coached, I think he coached the Browns. Was terrible, got fired, and now he's one of the greatest coaches of all time.
I mean, also with that 17-win season, we had traded for Bargnani, we had Shumpert, we had J.R. Smith, we had Amari. That wasn't a tanking lineup. It was an accidental.
No, we traded for Bargs the year before.
Yeah, you don't trade 3 draft picks and 3 players for a guy saying we're 1 year away from tanking.
No, but like that, Phil didn't do that. Phil gets here after all that stuff's been done.
Yeah, but he didn't get rid of those players.
Well, like how can you? Like he tried to get rid of them. He wanted to get rid of those guys.
I don't think you go into a season with Melo, Anthony Smith, Bargnani, and say like we're tanking this season.
You just say you let the players speak for themselves.
I think he thought they were going to make the playoffs, and then when it turned out that lineup was a train wreck, he said, "Screw it, I'm just going to roll with this." And now we're tanking. Like I don't think he went in tanking. I think it just turned into a tank job.
How much was a train wreck, and how much he also just got? He was also his initial, and I'm not saying anyone he got rid of shouldn't have been gotten rid of, but his initial issue was that guys aren't going to buy into the triangle, so they have to go.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like J.R. Smith, who I don't want on the team anyway. He got rid of J.R. Smith. He was a cancer, and Raymond Felton was a cancer, and they're not good anyway. But they were cancers because they weren't good triangle guys. And it turns out, what wasn't good for the triangle? The Knicks. Like it was just
and the triangle.
And the triangle itself just wasn't good.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he had this whole. I feel like like Derek Fisher. As much as you want to kill Derek Fisher, Fisher's like, you got rid of me because I wouldn't play the triangle, and because I wasn't performing. The team was actually better for 23 games, like for the first 46 games that they are this year.
Right. I don't know. Yeah. Andrew writes, if Phil trades Carmelo and Courtney Lee of the Clippers for Blake, would you want him on the Knicks, or would you like to get a third team involved so we can get picks or young players, maybe Celtics. A team like the Suns or Nuggets or the Magic?
Yeah. I would be very happy to turn Blake over to get picks. What do you think?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I want players that are on the same timeline as Porzingis.
Yes. Oh, wait, you should get Greg Oden, because Greg Oden, like Porzingis, will never play again. No, I can't even make that joke. Oh my God, I'm gonna kill myself. If Porzingis really if this Achilles thing is real and like it's really gonna derail his career, I can't even go on. Like how do I go on?
Bruno's saying how Phil got us some second rounders. He did, but he also traded some second rounders. We don't have our 2020 and 2021 second rounders because of Hernan Gomez.
Well, but that was a fair trade.
It was. I mean, I'm just saying we don't have our second rounders in 3 out of the next 5 years.
Well, hang on. That's if you trade 2 second rounders and you got Hernan Gomez. Trade second rounders in general are a big gamble, and Hernan Gomez for 2 future second rounders, that was a pretty good gamble. You got to say, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not like Phil is Mr. Keep
Wait,
all
the. I emailed you about a trade. I posted this on the Facebook page that I didn't even realize happened. That is so mind-boggling.
I must have went into instant denial with that.
Holy crap! So, did you know the Knicks completed a trade with the Sixers in 2014 in October that traded away a future second round, right, to swap a future second round pick and a future second round pick. Here's here. I wrote it on Facebook. Did you realize the Knicks traded away 2019 second round pick to Philly, along with giving them the right to swap the 2018 second round pick? The purpose was to get Travis Outlaw off the roster. He was acquired in the Quincy Acey trade, so they want to get rid of Travis Outlaw, not because, and Outlaw's not a good player, but not because he was bad, but because they wanted to make room for Travis Ware. Travis Ware impressed him so much. Who, by the way, Travis Ware had no career. And I don't know why anyone thought outside of the fact that he shut down LeBron for one game. He had no career whatsoever. We had to make room for Travis Ware. So we cut Travis Outlaw. The Knicks made this trade where they traded Travis Outlaw. They gave out second round picks, and the guy they acquired for the second round, they traded Travis Outlaw, the second round pick, and the right to swap another second round pick. The guy they got back, they immediately cut.
Yeah.
They also, and the best part is, James Dolan saved $4 million in luxury tax by making this trade, just to make you angry. So, the Knicks basically traded away a second. And the best part is, this is the team that won 17 games. They couldn't find a place for Travis Ware. You could have cut anyone in the damn team.
Yeah.
Travis, how about in the Quincy Acey trade, you just don't take back Travis Outlaw? Or just keep Outlaw and Travis Ware sucks. So
that is such an insane sequence of events. Andrew's pointing out that I was in love with Travis Ware back in the day, and that was because I forgot about the draft picks we traded for him. I don't think I would have liked them as much.
Also, I mean, we're like, we will just go on to any guy who's young and looks decent on the next one.
Yeah, we're so desperate for a homegrown guy that if you start your career with the Knicks, like, we're probably going to love you right away.
We loved Landry Fields for a short time. I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was a little longer than a short time. It
was like 2 years.
It was what?
2 years.
No, we didn't love for 2 years.
I think,
but we maybe 2 months.
No, it was like 2 years.
I can't go back and listen. Oh my God, this team is just. It's because I was thinking about the fact that I'm like, well, the good thing, Phil, that the one thing he doesn't trade away draft picks. Then I found this trade and I'm like, God damn it, Phil. And then I saw the Hernan Gomez one also, which I wasn't as mad about because Hernan Gomez, was a very good second round pick.
Nick Fury is saying we should trade everyone except KP and Hernan Gomez for picks. Is Nick Fury a play on Kung Fury? Because that was a great movie.
Nick Fury? Isn't Nick Fury a character from like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter?
No.
Nick Fury. He's a
you're thinking of the Marvel character.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
That's right.
Okay.
That's the guy with the eye patch.
Yeah. I just googled him and I saw Samuel L. Jackson with the eye patch.
Yeah. Although that's alternate universe Nick Fury, but okay.
Wait, what? Oh, I want to correct the comic book. It's not accurate comic book facts. What the hell's wrong with you?
They're mixing in the movies. They're mixing alternate universe characters with regular universe characters, and I don't like that.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you mean they're mixing regular universe with alternate universe? What?
Marvel has an entire alternate universe line of comics so that they can basically do whatever they want and have no, like, they could have Wolverine die, and it's like it's in the alternate universe, so it doesn't matter. And so they have like different versions of all the characters so they could do different things with them. So Nick Fury is a black guy in the alternate universe, but he's not in the regular universe.
In the alternate universe, let's make him an African American.
That's what
because it doesn't count there.
They do that in a lot of the alternate universes ones. They just like change the race. Like I think Spider-Man's black in the alternate universe one.
Oh yeah, Batman's like he's a post-op transsexual. They're like, Batman, you've saved the city. You still can't use our bathrooms. Okay, let's talk about next.
Okay, so website comments. We do have a website, and people do leave comments on there sometimes.
That is crazy.
The New York Knicks Podcast.com.
By the way, what's our phone number in case people want to leave a voicemail?
631-676-1181, or you could Skype us The Brink of Sanity.
And you could also, we record live. You can always call Sundays, 8:30 on. Call the show if you want to talk. Some people have done that recently.
The Brink of Sanity is also our comedy podcast. It's basically this, except that Nick Fury conversation we had, that's pretty much The Brink of Sanity.
Yes. So more Nick Fury, less horrible team that we follow.
Right. That's also available on iTunes.
Okay.
So Stefan writes... He wrote two really long ones, so I'll just paraphrase. He's saying Noah's contract sucks, but he's okay with KP, Noah, O'Quinn, and Hernan Gomez. He just says it's the wrong mesh of players. Who on this team needs to go, or who do we have to begrudgingly part with to make this team more effective?
Everyone over 27?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't, other than Porzingis, I like a lot of the other players. I like Kuz, I like Hernan Gomez, but if these guys were traded for draft picks or whatever, I wouldn't be completely heartbroken. I would say keep Hernan Gomez just because he's the same age and he's friends with Porzingis, and he looks like he does have potential. And if he can get better on defense, he'll be a really good player. But like everyone else, I don't care.
I mean, I feel like also, I know draft picks aren't like the absolute, like, that'll solve all, but and lots of teams do it and don't get better. But I feel like the Knicks have been so bad on defense for so long now. They've got to get better on defense. The only way I see them getting better on defense is you change the culture here. You go defense first. You get guys who are very coachable, who are basically guys that are rookies or coming into the league who will listen to a coach, and you just put a new defensive system in and just really go like, hey, forget offense. We don't even need – hey, we barely even need to practice offense. If offense works out, great. We're just focusing on defense. We're going to make ourselves a top 10 defense, and then we'll work on offense from there. We got KP. Offense will work out. Just defense.
Well, I think to get better on defense, you need to stop trading for and or signing horrible defenders.
Yeah, and you also probably have to stop turning over the roster, but I'm going to do it again because it's not going to work out with this roster. Like, at the same time, like, continuity helps, but yeah, you can't bring in overpriced guys that can't play defense.
Stephen writes, what the F, man, I don't claim to be an expert, but I am pretentiously confident in my Knicks analysis. Did we say something bad to him? Because usually you don't start with what the F unless we said something bad about him. So apologize if we offended you. So he has 3 reasons why the Knicks are terrible. Melo's inability to play defense, and that he's clearly old to the point where he has to selectively decide when to use his energy. He might literally be the one puzzle piece that, if we can move, the team will look and play completely different. I might even do a swap with him for Wilson Chandler. No confusion about who's the team, and a 3-4 guard who can give you 15 a night. Oh, yeah, and a fast break will exist again.
I mean, the thing is, like, the players, whether Melo wants to be the team leader or not, he is. And guys look to him. And if he's not giving his all on defense or just taking plays off, guys are like, well, I can do that too. Melo does it.
Right.
I have to say, no matter what you want to say about LeBron, like, gives, like, 110%, whatever. He plays really hard defense, and he forces you. You're watching him. You're like, you're on his team, and like, if LeBron, this superstar or whatever, is working his ass off, then I'm going to work my ass off too.
Exactly. 2, Derrick Rose isn't the right point guard for us. Even though he can unarguably score some baskets, he is really a lower echelon ball distributor, which is so what the team needs to be effective. And if we are stuck with Melo, that even furthers the argument of needing a true floor general to make him more effective as he continues to get less agile with age. I would take 14 to 16 points per game and 6 assists over more points and fewer playmaking.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that again. And
No.
3, both of these guys aren't compatible with one another, and it's hurting Porzingis most of all. Derrick Rose and KP don't seem to have developed any chemistry at all, which is really saddening. Any. KP with a real stud point guard to play off of, in my opinion, is the most vital element for the future. Hate to say it, but just remember back the first year with Amari and Raymond Felton, those two gelled, and it showed significantly in their win column.
You know, the big thing people kept saying when we'd say, like, hey, the team needs to rebuild, it's better for KP, the rebuild, they said, no, it's better for KP. Don't be like the Timberwolves. You have a losing culture. Like, he needs to play. He needs to get meaningful games in the playoffs. He needs to be on a winning team to, like, get that winning vibe. Well, we tried that, and we're stuck with this crap. This is definitely not better for his development.
No, definitely not. I mean, you could be on losing teams and have it good for your development, but this is not.
This is the worst of both worlds. You kind of want win now with the roster, and you're not, and the locker rooms only get worse. You have veterans that are upset. Like, and Derrick Rose is like, you sit me in the fourth quarter, and he's freaking out because he's like, I want to get this big contract. I need this big contract for my family. And so if you sit me, it messes my situation up. And I'm playing for myself, not playing for the team. And lots of guys, Jennings playing for himself, not the team. Lots of guys are playing for themselves.
Yeah. Let's see. Mr. C writes, what do you think about the NBA's plan to consider shortening games? I'm hoping it just means removing some of the timeouts rather than cutting down play time. Regular season games do take far too long at the moment, though, unless you're Noah, where games last 15 minutes.
Who's calling in?
I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna have to call you. This is how Skype works now.
Okay.
Hello,
Marc and Jay.
how you doing?
Good. This is Stefan, or Stefan, as you guys always mispronounce my name.
All right.
How you doing, brother?
Good. Thanks for calling
I have
in.
to say, you always have this impression of what people look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching your live podcast right now for the first time. I want to talk to you guys. Can I chat with you on
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
The show is on right now, and you could chat with us. Who's this? I just got back on.
It's Stefan, as you guys like to mispronounce my name. My name's Stefan, though. And I listen to you guys every single week. And
well, thank you for being
I've actually gotten into one car crash listening to your podcast driving back from work. I get
Really?
so worked up sometimes. Truly.
What was going on for a brief tangent? What was going on in the car crash? Like, what happened? What happened that you got the car? What were we talking about?
I hit a buck because I was laughing so hard when you guys were talking about Derrick Rose, and he said that they were a super team, and he made the comment like, "Oh my God, how dare everybody think the Knicks can be competitive?" I was dying. and I just wasn't paying attention, and I hit a giant deer and totaled my car.
Jesus.
So, yes.
Wow.
Guys, what did you watch that game tonight?
Holy crap. It's awful. It's goddamn awful.
It's painful. Listen, I'm at a loss. I mean, I honestly think that, like, if we just, by the grace of God, just are able to swap out Melo, I feel like this team would look completely different. I think they'd look completely different on the offensive side of the floor. They'd be faster, and on defense as well. And I don't know if it's that or if it's Derrick Rose. I mean, the guy can score, and I'm happy to have him. But, I mean, he just doesn't seem like a pass-first point guard. Do you guys feel the same way?
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking all show about how we just kind of have to everything that's not nailed down, not named KP and Hernan Gomez has to go. Or Baker too.
Wait. Why do you want? I mean, why you said Hernan Gomez has to go?
No, it does not have to. Everyone not named KP, Hernan Gomez, Baker, maybe one or two of the young guys. Everyone else has to go. Not that they have to go, but we should see.
I'd like to see Thomas go, honestly, and the reason being is because, I mean, the only good thing we have going on with this team is, you could say, our young bench. And I could potentially see in 2 years when KP is just a golden god, I see him starting with Hernan Gomez and even Kuz. I mean, Kuz looks really good. I prefer him all the time over Lance Thomas. And I know Thomas is, whatever with his defense. I mean, Kuz gets steals. He's huge. I think he's just a better player than Lance Thomas, and I think the team's more productive, like, on the court when he's on it versus when Lance Thomas is on the court. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's hard to argue with what is proved true. It's kind of the team. I think, and what I would say is that we need to kind of just go all in on just getting assets. Trade all these guys away that are not part of our future. Lance Thomas, if we can get a draft pick for him, I'm happy to trade him away. I like Kuz. I like what I've seen from Kuz. Kuz is also 27 years old. I don't have any dreams that Kuz is going to be. I don't think he's going to be a starter in the NBA, but I think he's a solid, like, energy guy off the bench who can get you some points fast. Some nights he'll be on, great. Some nights he won't be on. You don't need to play him as much, but he should get more minutes, and I'd rather see him play over Lance Thomas. Hernan Gomez can develop. Go. What were you going to say?
Do you guys know what me and my girlfriend call Jeff Hornacek? We call him Disappointed Dad, because every time they show him on the sideline, he just looks like a disappointed dad. Like, like you steal his car and you come home at night, he's just so disappointed in you and you feel like you've dishonored him. He just has the disappointed dad look on his face all the time, doesn't he? He does, right?
That's a good. There was that clip that was going around of I forgot a couple games ago where maybe it was the Milwaukee game where or Minnesota, whatever game it was. Melo went iso ball and like Hornacek was looking and just turned his back, being like, "What the hell?"
Oh my God. And it sucks because I like Melo. I think he's like a good guy. I think he's a good person as far as like millionaire superstars go. But, I actually heard this really interesting perspective on ESPN. And they're saying like why the difference between like a Melo and a LeBron is LeBron recognizes that he's getting older. So he supplements that by working harder in other elements. Like you think because Melo, he's getting older, he would work on maybe his stamina and, maybe getting a little slimmer, just little things to make him to make his game, better as he gets older, because he's not going to be the same guy. But, I mean, dude, he just looks gassed every game.
In fairness, to counter you, Melo he realizes he's getting older, so now he rests more on defense to counter that.
Yeah. Yeah, he saves himself for like special moments when he needs it, because he can't bring his A game the whole 100% of the time.
I think I wish you could just make rules for Melo. Like Melo, hey, you are only allowed to shoot. When you touch the ball, you have to touch it for like 3 seconds or less. You can shoot spot-up shots. You can't dribble and pull up. No 18, 20 footers. You're shooting either behind the arc or in the paint. And if you can't take it to the rim, then sit down and get some rest and go back in the game when you can take it to the rim.
Dude, Melo, he needs to be not on the Knicks. He just needs to be Paul Pierce. He needs to be on some team where he could just be old and like somebody passes him the ball and he catches and shoots. And that's it. Like, and it sucks because he's the one person we can't trade.
Well, you put him on the Clippers, and he agrees to go to the Clippers. That's one of the rumors that he would agree to go to the Clippers. The Clippers would look pretty darn good. I bet he would look pretty darn good with the Clippers. The Clippers don't need him to play defense. They need him to shoot and be mellow. And you got Chris Paul. He'll play really well with Chris Paul. I think it's a no-brainer for the Clippers. Clippers, if you're listening, do this trade. Save me, please. So, did he go away? Jay?
Stefan, are you still there? It looks like he got disconnected.
Okay, he'll call back. Or...
That was not me, by the
way. You're worried that he's going to go after us, like sue us for crashing his car?
That was a crazy story.
Oh my God. I can't believe I thought he was going to say he bumped the car in front of him and like a little bit of damage. He totaled his car.
We almost had
I hope he can find you and not me when he wants to sue.
We almost had our first Knicks podcast fatality.
Maybe like we'll see a dip in the numbers and like be like, oh, remember that point of the show where you guys made that really funny line? You killed off half your audience. Okay, go to more questions. If he calls back in, we can put him back on.
Okay, that is it. You want to do the Facebook questions?
Okay, there's Twitter questions.
Okay, do you have those lined up?
I don't. I mean, I could put I didn't post for a Twitter ask for questions on Twitter, but someone just asked them anyway. One person.
I think. Oh, okay. I do have it.
MVP or resign Melo.
Yeah. Have the Knicks failed Melo in terms of giving him the right pieces to contend for a title? We know Melo's flaws, and maybe in his prime he could have been the best player on a championship team, but now those days are over. The Knicks given Melo any all-star, borderline all-star teammates to play with other than Amari in his first year and Tyson in 2013.
Yeah, this is from Max Melo 18 is the handle.
That was literally the list.
Yeah, we went through this already. Like, yeah, they haven't helped him. They have not helped him. But it goes back to the original issue with this is Melo's game. He can shoot the three, and Amari cannot shoot the three. But his game, in many ways, wasn't that different than like him and Felton were gelling pretty well. And this before we knew Amari was going to be injured the whole time here. But it was almost like they were playing pretty well. You could have just, I don't know. Like, we were happy when they got Melo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were pretty excited when they got him.
We were excited, but we did have our concerns that him and
this is Stefan and Ben.
Yeah, him and Amari would not mesh.
You have to...
This time it worked. Hello?
Hey,
I'm back. Sorry, I got cut out.
No problem.
Hey, can I just be like the third guy on the bench here? With you
sure.
guys
We're going through questions. Or do you want to do anything else?
Go ahead. I won't rant.
Okay, you can jump. You can jump with the questions. You can do the questions with us. Jay, what's the next question?
That was it for Twitter.
Oh, okay. Adam writes on Facebook: Is it bad that I kind of wanted the Knicks to lose against the Chicago so that we'd get a higher pick at the end of the year? What do you think, Stefan?
Yeah.
Is it bad to root for tanking?
Yes, that person should kill themselves. Why would you want them to lose? I don't want them to tank this year. Do you guys?
Yes.
But but here's the question. But don't you want a high draft pick? Like, if the team's not going to make the playoffs, wouldn't the high draft pick be the most...
No, I've had 10 years of hopes and aspirations. I just want them to make the playoffs.
But they're not going to.
I don't want to watch them. What do you mean? Don't say that. Just halfway through this... Okay, why? Why do you say that? We've watched them go for a month of being the best team in the East, record-wise. They've beaten over half the teams that are currently in the top 8 in the East right now. Yes, they're having issues. Why are we just assuming that
they won't turn it around?
Well, not so much that, but why are we assuming that they can't get it together again? And also, it's hard to take into account people's egos and pride. And you just got to think, Derrick Rose and Melo, I think they will never be able to sleep at night ever again if both of them don't get this team to at least the 8th seed this season.
Okay,
I don't think we should count them out.
How many wins do you think you need to get to the 8th seed?
I don't even know. I mean,
just throw it out there. We'll just take a guess. I mean,
what was it last year? Like, what was 8th seed win last year?
Jay? Like, I think we had to be over 500 last year, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I think this year 42 probably gets you in.
So let's say 42 wins. Let's go with that.
Right.
So to get to 42 wins, the Knicks have to play 6 games over the rest of the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. I think they just, they just need to throw Melo off the bridge or something.
But I mean, the Knicks, in fairness to Melo, the Knicks they play worse when Melo's not on the court. I mean, I want to kill Melo, but the Knicks generally.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying let's just get rid of him. I mean, I really feel like if we just, it wouldn't happen. If we were to swap Melo out with a very average starting forward, he puts up 15 points per game, plays pretty good defense, I think this team would look 100% different. But I do think they're going to make the playoffs, and I really stand by that. I think they'll get it together. I think they'll get it together enough. And I say that because we've seen them beat really good teams at times. And why wouldn't I believe that we can't do that again? I mean, they're going to win games. They just have to get through this little, emotional crisis here. And they need to fire Kurt Rambis too.
Well, yeah. They haven't, but they've beaten some good teams this year. They haven't looked, the elite teams, they haven't looked remotely competitive against.
Correct. Yeah, I have to agree with you. But that's not what we want. We just want the playoffs. Though,
oh, yeah. Most of their wins are against bad teams, which is what you got to beat the bad teams first. No question.
Right.
It's just the team seems to like you're getting later in the year. First of all, KP having the Achilles issue scares the crap out of me.
Yeah. What's going? Is he like? What's the timeline on that?
I mean, they're still going with day to day, but he's missed a bunch of games, like 5 of the last 7. I mean, he's our future. Rough. He's our future. Sit him the next 2 weeks. I'd rather like him get better and not have this being.
Yeah.
Do you want this to be a nagging issue for their future? Do you want to like, if you're saying, yeah, I mean, an 8th seed is not worth blowing up our potentially next Patrick Ewing. Like this is like.
Yeah, agreed. I don't want him to. If it means sitting him so he's fully healthy, of course.
We don't want a nagging injury. Rose, hey, I mean, I want to believe Rose is going to have a good year the rest of the way, but the chance he might be injured again. He had back issues. He hasn't missed that many games. He also seemed to miss a game for no good reason this year because he just didn't show up to the game. That's not a great sign for locker room chemistry.
He's just I'm so puzzled by him because the Knicks have the weirdest anomaly. We have a starting point guard who can score but can't distribute the way we need him to, and we have a backup point guard who can distribute but can't score the way we need him to. And it's like we're missing something constantly.
You're missing good players? Yeah.
No, and Rose, I mean, he scores.
Rose
he scores,
great.
But I don't think he makes people better.
Getting to the basket.
The way he should.
He's getting to the basket. He looks great. Like I am been so
he looks
impressed
so
with him.
Sexy when he gets to the basket.
But everything else, he doesn't pass enough. He has the blinders on when he goes to the basket. His defense is awful. It doesn't something's missing there. Wait.
Okay, can we just address?
Sure.
I don't. Why? Okay, I get that he's not a top tier defender. I don't think he's a horrible defensive player. I say that because do you remember that stretch where we played Portland, Atlanta?
Yes.
We played some really good teams. Rose is he's a big guy. He's bigger than most point guards. And I remember that stretch when we won some significant games. He just shut down some really good point guards in other teams. I think he plays adequate defense. I do. I think he needs other guys around him, though. He can't have Melo next to him because that's not going to work. But
here's the thing. Also, whatever they're doing with defense is not. They're giving up like 300 points a quarter. It's otherworldly how bad they've been on defense. No matter what you want to say, Noah's playing better lately. They gave up like 70 points in the first half against Toronto today. They're not.
And I don't get why, guys. Why? Why are they so bad on defense? I don't know who's the problem.
Do you ever watch the games? Do you ever DVR the games, or do you watch them live?
I watch every single game live. I haven't missed a Knicks game in 3 years.
Well, here's what I don't know if you've done this, but you got to do this. You got to do this sometime. Watch the game when the Knicks when their opponents score. Rewind 10 seconds, find out why, and you'll see so many guys just leaving their man. Melo just leaves his man all the time. They don't go when the guys stand outside the 3-point line. It's like they're force field. They don't go near the guy. It's their lack of just trying to cover the guys is they don't just go under screens. They go like a mile under screens.
Who do you think's to blame mainly? I mean, is it just like there's no chemistry, or
there's no chemistry? But I don't know. I mean, I want to say Rambis is awful defensive coach, but he wasn't even named the defensive coach till like 2 weeks into the season. I almost feel like Phil needed to set a culture here where they were going to be defensive first, or just like defense was important, and the whole time triangle was important, and that's hurt them. I feel like beyond the fact that the roster over and over again, you brought players in who aren't necessarily like. Because the thing is, I feel like Courtney Lee has not been great.
Tried. He gave it the old college try. He really did. He got what he could. I mean, you assume Noah's going to give that to you. You assume, but I mean, I have to say, the one person I'm not mad at this year is Hornacek. I mean, he's doing the best he can. I would like for him to try some other rotations. I would like for him to stick more to certain rotations. And I think we have kind of like a congested lineup in the sense where we have all these guys it was almost like last year. Like Fisher could never decide if O'Quinn was better than Seraphin. I think that we need to get more of a decisive lineup, just consistently. And I think Noah should come off the bench. I mean, I don't think that would hinder us at all. I think it couldn't hurt. I mean, I don't know. I know nothing. I feel like confused.
The spacing sucks also. When you have Noah, KP, and Melo out there, there's no spacing. It's not even it's awful.
It's horrible. You know what's really funny? It's actually funny to watch. If you notice, when they're on defense and Melo's guarding somebody, he will actually make his other teammates switch with him. And it's almost like he does it if he thinks the other guy is slower. So he'll make the other person switch if the other guy, he thinks he can guard a little bit easier, or if the other guy's going to be a little bit lazier. Did you ever get that vibe?
I'm convinced that the Knicks have secretly watched my 5-year-old son play soccer and have modeled their defense based on how they play soccer. And how my 5-year-old son plays soccer, everyone on the field follows the soccer ball wherever it goes, and that's what the Knicks do.
Yeah. So we're in consensus. I mean, Rose, there's no reason. I mean, it just wouldn't make sense to re-sign him, right?
It would be like anti-logic for 150.
Do you guys like Drew Holiday?
Yeah,
I think I could. I think he would. And he's not like he's not Denzel. He's not like the Denzel Washington of point guards. But I mean, I could see him playing very well with KP. He's an assist guy. We need a 6 assist per night guy. That's what we need to be productive. Because guys on our team can score. We've seen it. It's just when you have 1 or 2 guys who like to hold the ball, they don't know what to do, like Rose, who can't facilitate. That's when we get into trouble. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, no. I mean, Drew Holiday could star in my training day. The only thing I have to say is like I'm getting to the point where I'm like, we've done this. We do this every year now. We just we try to we do the quick fixes through the free agency. We do the band-aids. We do oh, this guy's going to be the answer. This guy's going to be the answer. It's been going on since the last 15 years. We've been trying this, bringing in big names or less than big names.
I know.
Why not just say screw it. We're going to go serious about young guys, draft, try to rebuild this right. Maybe it won't work, but maybe we'll give ourselves a chance. We haven't tried to rebuild. We haven't tried to rebuild in I don't know what last time we did a rebuild. It's been a long, long time.
You guys are okay with that though?
You know what?
Like we're okay with saying fuck it for. Excuse me, sorry, I don't know if I could curse on the air. We're okay with saying screw it for the next 2 or 3 years. And just adding on to this really long, horrible trail of tears.
If we got young players and we were developing them and we were legitimately like growing, you'd be happy. I don't know. Like I'm a big New York Met fan. The Mets went through 5 years of agony.
Yeah, I like the Mets. Yeah.
And now they're pretty good. And now you have to say those 5 years of agony were pretty worthwhile because, hey, we got to a World Series. Knicks aren't going to the finals like in my lifetime. They legitimately made the playoffs last year. We're back in the playoffs again this year. You have a lot to build on. We want sustained winning. I think Phil did say that at some point. And the only way you're going to sustain building, you need to really build out a real roster. Then we add on through free agency, not the other way around. Like
I know.
Golden State should be our model. Golden State, I mean, they got lucky as hell through the draft, but they built a bunch of guys through the draft, and then they added from there.
Yeah, and they didn't trade away all their young guys for, an aging star.
Yeah, I mean...
But, I've always been like I'll take the $10 today instead of $20 tomorrow. It just makes me feel so horrible about my life thinking about them tanking again, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's been 15 years of horror. It's been so bad. It's been so bad.
Yeah.
Outside of that 54 win year, it's been so bad that, I'd rather just, let's just do it right this time. Whatever. I mean, maybe it won't work. Maybe we'll suck for 10 years, but we'd probably suck either way. So at least, if we're trying the right way, you'd feel a little better about it. And if the team was heading for 30, if the team was heading for, we won 32 last year. We were heading for, 35 wins this year, but you've had a good young roster where you see the roster getting better, you probably get excited about watching them. You'd be like, hey, we may not be winning, but we're growing as a team. I can count moral victories when the team is getting better. And there's, something to root for. There's a future.
Guys, am I stopping you guys from doing other questions? I don't stop. I just will keep going and going.
We do have to get through the show, so we're going to go to the questions. You can stay on, though.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
Adam writes, also, Rose wants a $150 million max contract. How would you phrase telling him to go F himself? Pruda writes... I
wouldn't tell him to go F himself.
I mean, obviously you wouldn't say those words, but $150 million... If he wants $150... Who in God's name was going to give him that kind of contract? Are the teams...
Yeah, that is crazy.
What would you reasonably give Rose? Would you give Rose anything to come back? Was there a contract you'd give him?
Are you talking to me? Are you addressing me?
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, that's the one thing that I kind of lost touch with, I lost touch with, salary cap in relation to what's reasonable. I just don't really understand it anymore. What's, you know what I mean? Just because it's so blown up.
Absurd, yeah.
I don't get it. But no, I mean, I do think that's ridiculous. I mean, there's no way we could give him a max. I mean, he's not that great of a player. I mean, I could see the Sixers overpaying for him.
That's not even the max. I think the max, that's $30 million a year. I think technically the max is $39 million a year for him.
Yeah. Well, what pisses me off is the fact that if he's really that stoked to be in New York, he loves New York, all this. I mean, then show us. Why do you this? If it's not, don't tell us it's all about the money.
Everyone.
Why don't you take a?
He's been here for 1 year though. Everyone's about the money. He's been here for 1 year.
Except Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki. He took $10 million. He took half the money basically to try to build the team. The team sucks now, but
he's so cool.
I mean, I also get whatever. I mean, they want the money. They want the money. Rose wants a big contract. We just can't. The thing is, you can't be in a situation right now with KP, as young as he is. You can't be signing another guy who's not. The timelines are completely different. He's going to be overpaying him. We're better off finding a young point guard that can just develop with KP.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. Baker looks good. Baker's looking good.
I play him. Start. I think I would take Noah and take Rose, put him on the bench, not to forget egos, and then Rose won't want to do it. But the team would look better. You put Baker, You got Melo out there at the 4, KP at the 5. You got Courtney Lee, who I don't Justin Holiday out there. The defense would look better. The offense would look better, and their bench would look better because you're bringing out Noah and Rose.
Yeah. Do you guys like Jennings? I mean, he's got his issues, and he does some really egregious stuff. But I would be fine with a reasonable contract with him, bringing him off the bench next year, assuming that we have a different starting point guard that's not Derrick Rose, who's potentially better.
I kind of want Jennings gone. I feel like he has some good games, but for the most part, he stinks most games. He's
what
not careful
happened
with the
to
ball.
him? I don't understand it. Like, dude, he was such a good scorer. Like, where did it go? Like, what happened?
Yeah, remember he scored that first year. You got that 50-point game. And you were like, "Holy crap, this guy's good."
No.
Bruno writes, "I've been looking at mock drafts, and the guards available are assigned to the top 7-8 picks. Then there are a ton of power forwards and centers. Do you think we should try to lose on purpose to get one of those picks, or keep trying and failing to win consistently and end up in the top 10 or below range in the draft and have to choose based on quality, selecting more bigs to our roster?" So basically, two parts of the question. I know you don't want to tank, but if you're at the point where in the draft all that's left is at pick 14, say, is good bigs, do you draft another big, or do you try to pick a guard anyway at that level?
I mean, I do not think we need to be looking at more bigs and forwards.
No,
I would either try to maybe trade down, or I try to do something crafty. Maybe trade the pick to a team for a young point guard. I don't know. I wouldn't take I would not take another big though. That's ridiculous. I mean, Hernan Gomez. I mean, he's going to be as good. I think he's going to be slightly better than the average, center in the league in 2 or 3 years because he's so young. He's really good, man. I mean, I hope they don't trade him. That's the kind of he's going to be like a little bit better than Robin Lopez. A little bit faster.
Lopez is
pretty solid.
People knock Lopez, and he's not a world beater. But Lopez was really solid on defense last year, and we are missing. Like the difference between Lopez and Noah this year is huge. Noah, the Knicks had a really good interior defense last year because of having the combination of Porzingis and Lopez, and now the interior defense is lacking.
Ready? Insane introspective question. Would we be better or worse this season if we didn't make that Bulls trade?
I don't think it's interesting. It was a huge
But everything
gamble.
else was the same. Every other facet of our Knicks team was the same.
You can't say that, though, because if you didn't make the trade, you're not signing Noah. You're not going to sign Noah next to Robin Lopez. What do you think? Better or worse?
I think we're a better team this year. And I was so worried that Grant was going to turn into like Isaiah Thomas from Isaiah Thomas after we traded him, but that looks like Phil made their. You know what, Phil, with all his all his issues, dude, he can at the very least, dude, he's a great scout, man. He knows how to find young talent. If nothing else, would you guys agree that he got handed a pile of dog shit to work with, and he actually got us some young players that are legit. He made some good. Even O'Quinn. I know we hated O'Quinn last year, but he at least has the foresight to keep O'Quinn this season over Seraphin, and it paid off huge.
Yeah. No. I mean, O'Quinn's young still. He's like 26 or 27 years old. And we have him for a few more years on a good contract. So that's looking.
His contract is beautiful. Yeah.
Rich writes, "What washed-up player will we trade for next? Rudy Gay, perhaps?"
I don't want him at all.
Would you swap Melo for Rudy Gay?
Yes, just to see what would happen.
Rob writes, "How afraid are you guys of a very possibly completely overpaying for Rose this summer because it scares the hell out of me?" I think we talked about that, but yeah. Ralph writes, "How good can Cheese get?"
I think he can be a 12 to 15 point per game player. Who? That's what I think. And then insert some other stats.
I think he'll probably more like a 10-point a game, but it'll be more like he comes in and
you're right.
Because I feel like it'll be some games he'll get like 15 points for us, and some games he'll get like 5 points for us. I feel like it's going to be very up and down with him, but he's a guy that'll be a solid guy off the bench. Anton writes,
you don't think he can be a starter ever?
He's 27 years old. I just don't see it. I don't think his defense is not that good. I don't see him having enough time to get that good.
But conversely, we've seen him do some impressive stuff, like driving to. I think he has the potential. He just needs to get it and see how the NBA works and realize he's capable of it. And I do think he'll be better. So
I think he's good. I mean, I like him playing. I just thought if he was 21, I'd feel a lot better than being like 20. I think he's 27. Yeah. I feel a lot better.
Regardless, I don't want the Knicks to trade him. I think he's somebody to keep.
I would like them to keep everyone who's like relatively young and like needs they can actually develop. Anton writes, top five draft pick this year? Question mark. That would be a really miserable season. Though I'd like the pick we get. Spiros writes, or Spiros. Hey guys, how's it going? My question is, do you guys think we have a legitimate chance of making the playoffs? Or do you think we won't make it? Also, after Kristaps' airball, a lot of people have been saying things like he isn't good enough and we should try to build around him, which I think is BS.
Are you kidding me?
I think he has proven that he's a future star. What do you guys think? Should we not rebuild around him? That's
not even worth it. I don't even think we need to address that. Come on, really? Because he missed one shot? Give the guy a break.
I think it was mostly his Achilles. That's why he missed the shot. And
you know what? The person who wrote that, yes, they're absolutely right. I think we should trade him for who's the oldest center in the league? Who's the oldest aging center? That's what we should do. Because he missed one shot. We should definitely trade him, right? Right, guys? Right, Marc and Jay? Definitely trade him.
Definitely trade him. Lewis writes, Bulls get rid of a dysfunctional point guard and replace him with Rondo. Thoughts? That is kind of funny.
What happened? I don't know any. Why is what happened with with Rondo? Why is he not playing anymore?
He's a team cancer, pretty much.
Yeah, ever since he left the Celtics, he's been like an awful teammate.
He's just an ass. Like he's just not a pleasant. He's not a good teammate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not worked out. Like Dallas thought they were like, oh, we got him. Like it was awful, Dallas. They couldn't wait to get rid of him.
What do you think he does? Can we speculate? Like, what do you think he does? Like, do you think, what is he? What do you think he does to kind of garnish that kind of?
He's got to just throw temper tantrums anytime anything happens.
Like, do you think he's the kind of guy when you're sitting on the plane and you get up to go to the bathroom, he'll steal your seat and he won't let you have it back? Like he's that kind of guy.
I think he's the guy. You'll get to go to the bathroom. Like I was gonna go there. God damn it! Like get out of my way. I'm gonna go. I'm Rondo. Get out of my way. I peek first.
You know what? I would never want him, and the reason I thought about wanting him, but if he can't, get it together with Wade, who I think is probably one of the best veteran presences you can have, and a calming presence. I mean, it's certainly not going to work on the Knicks,
I think the Bulls would be better off just playing the young guys there. I would give Grant more playing time and give what's his name, the guy they got from Philly. Who's the other guy? Jay. Jay.
Who on Chicago?
Carter Williams.
Yeah. No, Carter Williams is pretty bad.
He's not that bad. I mean, he's decent on defense. Either way, he's still young. It's better than playing Rondo.
Hey guys, am I allowed? I have a very interesting story that I can save or I can tell you now. You will enjoy it.
Is it short?
It's short.
Go.
I live in Orange County, New York.
Okay.
And one of the employees at my store was a kid who went to high school with Clay Anthony Early, and he was a good friend of Clay Anthony Early's. And Clay Anthony Early used to tell him some absolutely ridiculous stories when he was on the team with J.R. Smith. And I don't want to proceed. I don't want to get sued for saying anything unless you say, you could tell me what he said.
Sure, just tell us what he said. Just say he allegedly said this. We don't know if he allegedly said this.
Yes. He allegedly said that Clancy Early told him that J.R. Smith allegedly was it.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, that's like the ultimate cliffhanger right there.
Are you kidding me? We lost him there. Okay. I imagine like a if you know Clancy Early, like he has some quick crazy stories from being a Knick. Did you know he got shot in the leg?
Are we almost done with questions? We're running really long.
Yeah, we're running really long. I would like to hear the rest of his story if he calls back. Let's go through the questions real fast. Anthony writes, is Melo staying in New York a genuine feeling, or is he just doesn't want to be a Knick, or he just don't want the Knicks to actually get better without him? There's a theory. It would look bad for Melo if the Knicks got better without him. Alan writes, I hate Melo. The guy only cares about his money and his business ventures. Phil needs to tell him we are building around KP. If he stays on, it's on him. If not, let him go. I know this is a nuclear option, but it's the Knicks cut him and use the stretch provision. He'll only be making $10.8 million of the cap for the next 5 seasons. That seems extreme. I wouldn't cut him. I feel like you could get something for him.
Yeah, no, definitely. You'd get something for him.
Alan writes, also, I hate people being against tanking and using Philly as their example. 1, they have a bunch of young guys on low-cost salaries. 2, their core will be the same age, so they'll extend together at the same time. 3, they've been looking for that cornerstone piece. Maybe it's Embiid or Simmons, but the Knicks have already have our cornerstone player. We need extra pieces. Gotta hate this team sometimes. Alan also writes, we're almost done here. I'm fully on team tank, plus Jay and Mark. Don't be scared of the Melo fans. I hate this win now BS idea some people have. Dallal writes, Jay, rightly or wrongly, you're developing a grumpy, wizened presence, similar to a biblical prophet. So can you tell us, where does this go from here this year? Is it worth watching any more of the train wreck? Oh. Hey, we can't hear you.
Hey,
there you are.
Can you hear me?
Sure.
Yeah.
Finish the Clancy Early story.
Okay, I didn't really cut out. Okay, he and this is not
Alleged.
Legitimately said it to me straight up. He told me that Clancy Early told him that J.R. Smith uses cocaine as maintenance, pretty much. That's how he described it. It was just a regular maintenance thing. Like, that's how much cocaine that he allegedly was using.
This is allegedly. This is completely allegedly. We have no. Don't sue us, please, anyone.
Yeah, please. All right, go ahead. You guys take over. I'll be the quiet juror.
Okay, we're running long, so we're gonna try to finish this up soon.
Yes, I know.
Frank writes, "Oh, Jay, do you want to say your wizened presence? Where do you see this going, Jay?"
Well, usually when teams have chemistry issues, they don't usually get better without a shakeup. So,
yeah, agreed.
I could see this getting worse before it gets better.
You gotta take the reins back. You gotta go nuclear and just
we haven't been playing well with. I mean, Porzingis,
you gotta make major changes.
Well, yeah. I mean, Porzingis is injured, but almost nobody else has been injured really. And
how do you go nuclear? Like, I mean, what does that entail?
If you don't trade everyone, then you just change the lineup. You stick Rose and Noah on the bench. You make major changes to the team and just say you're with us or you don't play.
Yeah.
You say Melo, either you're giving 100% on defense or we can't have you out there. Or you tell guys that like we're on board with the horny system or you're out.
What do you think the chances of a trade are before the deadline?
Of Melo, I don't see it happening.
No, just of anybody. What do you think the chances of just any type of trade going down is?
60%.
I could see us doing like trading Brandon, seeing what you get for Brandon Jennings right now, or I'd say pretty high that we're going to do some kind of like smaller trade.
I think it's going to be very small though.
Do you like PJ Tucker? I don't. I keep hearing his name. I don't know him though.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. 3-and-D
I mean,
guy.
but I don't think we want to give up what it takes to get him. So
What does that do though for us?
Exactly.
That's pretty much every move like that is what it's do for us. He doesn't get us to anywhere.
PJ Tucker does what Courtney Lee does. So yeah, I don't know what that.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's a solid defender, but Frank writes, you guys really think that Rose and Melo are paid so much that they are untradeable? Rose is getting $21 million this year, and Melo is $24.5 million. For comparison's sake, Noah's getting $18 million annually for the next 4 years. Bismack Biyombo got the same contract as Noah, and Mike Conley has been averaging $30 million over the next 5 years. After the CBA is approved, contracts are projecting to go through the roof, and I think there could be a few teams that could view Melo's contract as a bargain, and maybe even renting Rose for an end-of-the-year run as doable. I know salaries have to match, and Melo has a waive his no-trade clause, but we have no chance of winning the championship this year or in the near future. Why not blow this up and start over the right way by building around Porzingis? Not a bad argument.
Not a bad point.
Well, the salary info was good. That was good info. That kind of put some perspective on it with Rose.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's the harder part with the Rose thing is that matching up the salaries. The thing with you don't also want to take back so much salary that's going to make the trade worthless. Like you don't want to take back another So that's the issue basically. So you need a team that has $21 million to part with to get Rose, but also thinks it's worth getting Rose because they're so close.
I mean, I just get mad. I mean, him talking about Melo, that's not even worth it. I mean, that's a non-issue. I just get mad when people talk about it's just not going to happen. Melo gets to the side. We shouldn't even waste time discussing.
If Melo said, I think there's a rumor that's been leaked that he would consider the Clippers and consider the Cavaliers. So that's what you're working with, and legitimately, he would help both those teams. I don't think the Cavaliers would really go for it, but the Clippers, you only have so many more years with Chris Paul here. He's probably opting out this summer anyway. What are you doing? What are you playing for, Clippers? You have to try to go all in. They should push. Yeah. They should do whatever they can to try to jump over the Warriors, jump over the Spurs. So,
I don't think we would necessarily be able to get a great. Do you think we could get? Do you think the Rose trade is enticing, but I just don't. I can't see what would be offered for him realistically.
I don't know if we're going to get that much. I think Jennings you might be able to get more because he's on an easier contract to trade.
Because you have to match the number. That's what a lot of people don't know.
That's the issue. Yeah. The Rose also with Jennings, if you got a second round draft pick, in my mind we don't bring Jennings back. So if you get a second round draft pick, that's better than him just walking.
I wouldn't trade him for a second rounder. Jennings is the reason I think we've won at least a quarter of those games. I mean, he's put up 10 assists plus quite a bit. That's impressive.
He's been bad a lot also, but the question really is, do you bring him back? If you're going to bring him back, then don't make the trade. If you're not bringing him back, if you've decided that already, then make the trade. Because if you're not bringing him back, then trade him. Get something. Let's get better.
If we don't have a better option, I would sign him at a reasonable contract. If we don't have a better backup point guard, because he's an okay backup point guard, and once again, we're getting the continuity that we never have. We get to keep a friend. We don't have to make a new friend.
Yes, continuity would be kind of huge for this team. It doesn't help for defense that we have 9 new guys every year. Frank writes, this team is goddamn embarrassing. Agree?
Yeah.
Frank also writes, does Ron Baker deserve more playing time, or is his success the product of garbage time? A little of A, a little of B. He probably deserves more playing time, but it's probably a bit of garbage time there also.
I don't think I'm quite ready to just go full Baker. But I do think he deserves minutes when needed, and I think Hornacek does a phenomenal job of adjusting rotations accordingly to who we're playing, and when things aren't going well. So I think he should get a couple more minutes, definitely.
Gillum writes, do you know what the opportunity cost is? Oh, wait, hang on. Okay, here's just sorry, I missed the part of the question. Hang on a second. I guess he wrote. where is he starting this question from? Thoughts on this? Melo part is just a must read on the show. So Charlie Rosen, who apparently is like Phil's go-to guy for talking to.
Phil's pillow talk buddy.
Yeah, I don't. What? Yeah. So this is the part he wrote a piece on all the players, and how much this comes from Phil versus comes from I don't know why Phil. Whatever. Here's what the Melo part. Carmelo Anthony's legs are. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but are gone, almost gone. As ever, he's a dangerous scorer, but resists any offensive game plan that limits his one-on-one adventures. Moreover, his sticky fingers causes whatever ball and player movement is in effect to come to grinding stop. Since Melo is mostly shooting blanks in the clutch, he was scoreless in the fourth quarter last night. It's really a dead stop. Also, why he's never been accused of playing defense. Anthony is intent on saving even more steps on the on this end of the game to conserve his energy for offense. He's 4 months from his 33rd birthday. His contract is humongous and contains no trade clause. It's understood that he only accepts being dealt to the Cavaliers or the Clippers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did kind of hear about. My friend just sent me the thing with that Rosen kind of said all that stuff about Melo, and it kind of like confirmed my speculation on what I thought. But he's just old and tired, and he's just not there anymore. He really dropped off. He dropped off a cliff significantly this year. Like last year to this year was like mind blowing how much.
Yeah, he's not. Well, he's also his shoulder's injured. His shoulder's injured all the time. His shoulder was injured at the time you re-signed with his 5-year deal. The shoulder issues. You can't get mad. You can't be like, we got screwed on this. You knew the shoulders was going to be an issue the entire time when you signed him. Gillum also writes, Hoops Hype has a comparison for each draft prospect. And I guess the top 5 picks, they're all comparing them to great players, but everyone always does that every year for drafts. I mean, we're not getting to the top 5. So, Gillum writes,
I actually don't know anything about the draft. I usually don't catch up on the draft till right before the draft.
Yeah,
but that's just me. That's not
I'm not a huge college basketball guy, so I don't know enough about the players.
Yeah, I'm not a college basketball guy either.
Gillum also writes, worst case scenario for the season, is it just missing the playoffs? Are we headed towards that? Or in a way, do you feel relieved as losses mount fast for a higher pick? ? Kind of talked about that already. Gillum writes, let's say Melo says yes to being traded to LA for Griffin. Griffin will be a free agent and will demand one of those $150 million or more 5-year contracts. What do you say? Also, would you rather trade him for a star like Griffin or for a top 3 pick?
Can I suggest secret option 3?
Sure.
Just to be clear, like I said before, we don't need another forward. I don't want Blake Griffin. I don't think we need him. I would do the trade, though, simply because we now have a player that does not have a no-trade clause.
Yeah, you could then trade Griffin to maybe the Celtics or another team, and that would make sense. Griffin's
anything to get rid of Melo.
When healthy, Griffin's a very good player. So,
him next to KP could be fun for potentially.
We'd get a fast break. Gillum writes, last question for the show. Do you know what opportunity cost is? Or if so, can you explain it? Do you think the Knicks know about this as they give out money as soon as they can for as many years as they can? Jay, is opportunity cost on your CPA exam?
Yes, it is.
Why don't you explain it? Since you're probably the...
It's basically the cost of your next best option. So, if you go with option A, your opportunity cost is what you didn't go with for option B. But the Knicks never know what their opportunity cost is because they always go with their immediate gut.
So it's like if you're going to go to the Knicks game, you're like, I'm going to spend $100 in the game, but my next best option will be spending $100 on something that makes me happy.
Right.
That's a little too abstract for me.
Yeah. So what did we learn today?
Bruno wrote plot twist: the Knicks trade a draft pick for Chase and Randall.
We didn't even talk about that. We talked about it last show. That Chase and Randall. Oh, it wasn't official last show. Now it's official. Chase and Randall has signed with the 76ers. Whatever.
Is that good or bad? Is he good?
Yeah, he's a guy. He was in the D League. He was playing really well. He's a point guard. We wanted him. He was there.
Better than Baker?
No, he was on our summer league team. He was on Westchester. He was not playing really well. And in fairness, he had a couple of good games in the Westchester. His shooting percentage was lacking. I don't know. Maybe he's good or not, but like I don't know if we lost out on anything.
He was playing well enough.
He's tiny too. He's only like 6 foot. He's a little guy.
He was small. Playing well enough where I said, "Hey, why not take a chance on this guy as opposed to Sasha?"
Yeah, he's playing well enough where we're like, "Why is Sasha on this team?" But we usually just say, "Why is Sasha on the team anyway?" So having some guy to actually replace him is even better.
Yeah.
But I also want to give him Endor's. Someone pointed out they were like, because people, I've said like give him Endor spot or Plumlee spot, and they pointed out, and I haven't double checked this. They said like the last couple games that Endor and Plumlee have played in the D League for Westchester, they've looked great. So the fact that you look great in the D League doesn't necessarily mean you're ready to like contribute in the NBA.
Anthony Early always looks good in the D League. What does that say?
Where is he right now? Like, is he playing overseas or?
I think I don't know. Well, I know the Knicks released him, right?
Yeah, the Knicks
traded
released
him.
No, I think they just released him. I don't think you could get anything for him. I mean, a lot of guys in the second round don't end up being that good.
God.
We had high.
What a disappointment, huh? He was such a disappointment.
Yeah. He's playing in the D League right now. He's playing for the Santa Cruz Warriors. He was acquired in a 3-team trade. I'm looking on Wikipedia right now.
Yeah.
So he's on the Warriors, and I'm sure if he's really good, another team will take him. We'll take him. But I don't think he's going to develop into an NBA player. So, anything else we learned today? We learned that our show can cause people to hit random animals on the road and destroy their cars. Yeah. That was probably the best thing I learned in the whole show. I mean, I'm sorry for you, but it was the funniest thing I learned in the show.
Yeah, it was a day of mixed emotions. So.
I think that's all. That's all we got for today.
I think we learned that we have absolutely no idea how to fix this team,
and neither does anyone in the actual organization.
Yeah.
So we know as much as the Knicks organization does, apparently. Here's a question for you: if Phil said, "I want a commitment for 5 more years right now," would you give him a 5-year extension?
Who?
Phil Jackson. 5 more years. You like him enough that you want him here for like the next 5 years plus.
I don't know. That's tough. Who is the guy that put? I know this is vague, but who is the guy that put like? Remember that original team? We had like Felton and Stoudemire and Wilson Chandler. Was that Donnie Walsh?
Yeah, he's with the Pacers now. I
He
liked
was
him.
pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah, good thing we ran him out of town.
I don't know. I don't know enough. I mean, I don't know enough about good GMs. I mean, he's okay. He's trying his best. He's also inherited a dumpster fire, you know. And I think this year he did his best to make us competitive, and he also did his best to bring in a bench that could potentially be like our future, you know, like some development. I think, I don't know.
The only weird thing about that dumpster fire the dumpster fire that he inherited won 37 games. He hasn't gotten there yet.
I know.
The guy on Toronto, Masi, whatever his name is, let's just give him a giant contract. Dolan's got a lot of money. Just go up and go, oh, I don't really want to leave Toronto. Here, you could write your salary on the check.
The problem with him is he's done really good because he screwed the Knicks when he was on Denver and Toronto, and there's no Knicks to screw when he's on the Knicks.
It sucks when your team is the lowest common denominator. Like you're the team that like everyone like you need to be able to trade with, and you can't trade with ourselves.
Yeah.
Anyway, that about wraps it
Guys,
up.
can we just hope it on out that they'll make the 7th seed? Let's hope it on out together. We've seen them win. We've seen them play well.
Well, that was my prediction in the beginning of the season, so I want that just so I can say I'm right.
Maybe the three of us can get together for the parade down Broadway when they win the title this year. Why not? Let's all hope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Stefan.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah,
this was
thanks for
fun.
calling in. This was a great call, and we're happy to. Outside of the fact your car got hurt, which was funny, but not funny. The J.R. Smith story, alleged story, interesting.
Very good, right? Hey,
Yeah.
guys, thanks. It was really fun. You have my email. I'm always down to be on the show. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Cheers, gentlemen.
All right.
Cheers.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Check out our stuff, the New York Knicks Podcast.com. Eric is still writing those awesome recaps of all the games. We have almightyballer.com for a bunch of other awesome podcasts. And we are at NY Knicks Podcast on Twitter. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com is the email. Leave a review on iTunes.
By the way, I just want to say one thing. If Eric is doing a great job on the recaps, but if he wants to just I'm just surprised. He keeps sending us the recaps and they're great. But if I'm surprised he's not for this recap of the Raptors game, I took a pencil and outlined my nuts. that would be just as acceptable as the actual recap for how bad the team is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good point from Bruno. If we get the 7th seed, we're getting today's game 3 times. I don't want it.
Oh, God. Play the goodbye song.
Yeah, I don't think we can top that. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Everybody.
If you don't sit in your lucky seat, your team could lose. So don't leave your lucky seat. But do pick up your phone or computer and order B-dubs to go. Or if you've got a big group, call in for the party menu. That way you can order wings, pick them up, and get back to your lucky seat. And if you do lose while sitting in your lucky seat, you can still feel lucky eating your feelings. Spicy feelings. Keep your superstitions. We do it for you. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Prices and participation vary. See participating locations for details. Void where prohibited.
Napa know-how.
A Napa guy knows more isn't always better, unless we're talking about full-size vans. These beasts do more than get you from A to B. They have so much space a man can live in it. With shag carpeting, waterbed, and a sweet lava lamp, these mobile abodes have all the comforts of home. With quality parts and plenty of Napa know-how, you can keep the original tiny house running longer, stronger. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Geico's been around for more than 75 years, back when they were using Morse code. Sorry, that's just my sense of humor. What's more, with Geico you get 24/7 access to licensed agents on the app, online, or over the phone, so you can talk to them at night or in the morning. So forevermore, just know that no other auto insurer has more than Geico. More power to you. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.